say the wilderness keeps secrets, dark secrets, the kind that wait in places where no one should ever be alone. The storm came without warning, rain like bullets, wind that screamed through the trees, and me, miles from anywhere, miles from anyone. That's when I saw it, the cabin, old, forgotten, waiting. I should have noticed it immediately. The door, it locked from the outside. So did the windows, every single one. What kind of cabin locks people in? What kind of nightmare was I walking into? The storm raged on, but then I heard something else. Something outside. Footsteps. Breathing. No. Something worse. Something circling. The door shuddered. Once. Twice. Someone was out there. Someone who knew exactly what this place was for. Then I smelled it. Smoke. They were burning it down, with me inside. Fire climbed the walls like fingers reaching for me. The heat seared my lungs. I kicked. I screamed. I fought the door like my life depended on it, because it did. When I finally broke through, he was waiting. We collided in the smoke and flames. His hands found my throat. Mine found his face. I don't remember much after that. Just pain, just survival, just the primal need to get out. Later, through the haze of burns and trauma, the police told me what I already knew. The door had been jammed from the outside. I wasn't supposed to leave that cabin. Someone had used it before. Others weren't as lucky as me. I survived, but part of me is still there. In that cabin, feeling those locks, smelling that smoke, fighting in the flames. I'll never hike alone again, because some places don't want visitors. They want victims. And that cabin is still out there, waiting, always waiting. What's that sound outside your door? Some places were never meant to be disturbed. Some towers stand as silent sentinels, watching, waiting. And some nights, the darkness doesn't just surround you. It watches back, deep in the forest where the trees grow so thick that daylight barely penetrates the canopy. There stood a fire lookout tower, decommissioned, abandoned, forgotten. James and Charles thought it would be the perfect place for an adventure. One night, just two friends and a spectacular view of the forest below. They had no idea what was already there, waiting for them. As darkness fell around the tower, Charles made a sound, a loud, playful noise that echoed through the trees, and the forest answered. A light appeared in the distance, not flickering like a flashlight, not wavering like a lantern, moving with perfect, mechanical precision, closer and closer and closer still, until it stopped directly beneath the tower. James and Charles stared down into the darkness, their breath caught in their throats, their hearts pounding against their ribs. The light didn't move, it just waited. Hours passed. The light remained, unwavering, unblinking, and then the sounds began, metallic, deliberate, a rhythmic clanging that echoed up through the tower's metal frame. Clang, clang, clang. Something was down there, something was working. Then came the grinding, metal against metal, the screech of steel being manipulated. James peered through the window into the darkness below, and that's when he saw it, a shape, darker than the night itself, standing motionless, looking up, looking at him. They didn't sleep that night. They couldn't. They waited for dawn, prayed for dawn, begged for dawn, and when the first rays of sunlight finally pierced the forest canopy, they discovered what had been done. An entire section of the staircase, gone, not broken, not collapsed, removed. The metal had been cut, precisely, deliberately. Someone, or something, had spent the night systematically dismantling their only way down. They eventually made it down, shakily, desperately. But the question remains, what was it that answered Charles's call that night? What was waiting in the darkness below? And most terrifying of all, why did it let them go? Some places, they watch you back. Daniel Boone National Forest. Mile marker. Irrelevant. The trees here grow thick enough to swallow the moonlight, and I was alone. At least, I thought I was. Day 3. The solitude had become comfortable, perhaps too comfortable. I'd set up camp near a clearing, hung my gear on the designated tree, checked my supplies twice. Everything accounted for. Everything rational. That's when I saw it. Through the trees, maybe 200 yards north, a campfire, burning bright, burning orange. I hadn't seen another soul in 3 days. I called out. Voice echoes. Hello? Nothing, just the flames dancing against the darkness, and beneath it all, a feeling, the kind that makes the hair on your neck stand at attention, the kind that whispers, turn back. I told myself it was another camper, someone who valued their privacy. I zipped my tent closed and tried to sleep. But sleep, she's a fickle companion in places like this. What the 2 trees, 2 different directions, seconds apart. I grabbed my flashlight, hands shaking. Listen, I grew up in these woods. Trees don't just fall. Not on windless nights. Not like that. Oh God. That sound. It wasn't wind. It wasn't an animal. It was continuous, like the earth itself was groaning, like something massive was breathing. Morning couldn't come fast enough. When the sun finally broke through the canopy, I packed my gear with trembling fingers and went to investigate. The campfire site. The one I'd seen burning so clearly. Nothing. No ash, no scorched earth, no stones arranged in a circle. Just undisturbed forest floor, as if it had never existed at all. But the fallen trees, those were real. The first one I found was massive. Old-growth oak, at least 3 feet in diameter. But when I examined the break point, the wood wasn't cleanly snapped. It was gouged, torn, shredded. Deep grooves ran along the trunk like something with immense strength had ripped it apart. Not cut, not broken by wind, torn. And then, I saw them. My bandana, the one I'd tied to my pack yesterday, and my carabiner, the one attached to my water bottle, 30 feet from my campsite. At the base of this destroyed tree, someone had been in my camp, had gone through my belongings, had taken these items and left them here like a message or a calling card. I didn't wait to find the second tree. I didn't pack my tent properly. I just ran, and as I ran, I heard it again. That low rumbling, that groan, closer this time, following. I made it to my car, threw everything in the back, started the engine with shaking hands. But as I pulled away, I looked in the rearview mirror, just once. The trees at the edge of my campsite, they were moving. They say Daniel Boone National Forest covers over 700,000 acres. Plenty of room for things that don't want to be found, or things that do the finding. I never went back. Some mysteries are meant to stay buried in the woods.